Playing music from memory can be really stressful. You may not feel that you're any good at learning it in the first place, and there's always the fear that it might disappear from your mind just at the time when you need it the most. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'm going to show you the two most important things that will help you memorize music quickly and have it stick reliably. And it turns out that these are not crazy complicated techniques. Rather, it's just about getting the basics of how you go about it right. It's not exciting, but it really works. And while you're watching, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. And the first thing that you need to do if you're going to get good at memorizing and really have it stick is to start early. Don't make the mistake of learning a piece from the sheet music, playing it through lots of times until you're really confident with it, and then starting to see if you can play it from memory. Even as you're learning it, even as you're working out the technique of how to play it, start seeing if you can remember it, testing yourself on that. So maybe as you're going through a piece for the first time, you come to a bar, you play it once or twice, and then you put the music away and see if you can remember it. And do this, when you've played it just once or twice before you feel that you will be able to remember it. Because it turns out it's that act of struggling to recall something that really helps drive things into the memory. It's not about thinking you want to get to the place where you know it and then seeing if you really do. Going earlier, trying before you're ready is really helpful in embedding things into long-term memory. When you already know it quite well because you've repeated and repeated and repeated, and then you try and do it from memory, that typically just sticks things in the short-term memory. So get into this early on, before you think you're ready. And as I said, it could just be one bar. You're not looking to play through the whole piece once and then see if you can remember it all. You can do it in chunks, but get into this early, a bar at a time, 2 bars, whatever. See if you're doing it correctly. And don't worry about getting it wrong. It is not going to harm your learning if you try and remember a bit of the piece and you don't get it right. I talked earlier about struggling being important in learning, in memories. And there's a particular aspect of this that's known as the generation effect, where the very act of trying to generate an answer to the question in this case being, what is this thing that I'm trying to remember? The very act of trying to generate an answer enhances future learning, even if that answer that you generate turns out to be incorrect. So when you're getting into it early, you don't need to worry that you'll be messing things up if you get it wrong. Because a lot of people avoid doing this because they think, I need to get it to the point where I know it before I can play it from memory. Quite the opposite. Put yourself in that situation where you're trying to generate an answer. How does this go? Even when you're not sure about it. And if you get it right, that's great, that's going to help. But even if you get it wrong, it's focusing your brain on it. It's telling your brain, you need to sort this out, and it will help the learning stick better in the future. And the second thing that you need to do in order to get good at memorizing and get really strong at having it be reliable is to play from memory regularly. It's not going to be helpful if you spend all your time practicing with the score and then hope a little bit before you're actually hoping to play from memory that you'll just do it a few times and see if you know it. You need to be in the habit of practicing from memory as much as possible, because alongside everything else, your brain gets used to the situation in which you practice. And if the music is there all the time, your brain is thinking, I don't need to remember stuff because I can always look at the score. Whereas the more you practice without something there, the more your brain is getting used to the idea, it's on me. I've got to do this. I can't use crutches. I can't, opt out. And so this goes even further than just playing from memory. Do it genuinely from memory. Put the score away. Do not do it by having the score there and I'm going to try and play this stuff from memory, and I'm allowed to look at the score if I'm not sure about a bit, because you can bet that your brain is still getting that message. Okay, I've got a backup if I need it. I don't have to be perfect at memorizing because I can always use this thing. And further than that, it's back to the struggle again. If you are playing from memory, the score is somewhere completely different, you can't look at it, you come to a bit that you can't remember, do not give in to the temptation of just going, okay, I can't remember this, I'll go and check the answer straight away. Spend some time with it. Think about trying out some things. Can I remember something if I think for a bit? If I try something out, does that sound right or not? Because again, it's this struggle to bring it out of your memory rather than immediately running off and checking the correct answer. That's what's really going to deepen the learning. So to summarize, start memorizing early, before you feel that you're ready to. And play from memory regularly. Make that your default way of playing rather than practicing with the music and just assuming you'll be able to play from memory later. Now, memorizing works best when you work on it consistently. So I definitely recommend checking out my video on how to practice music daily next. And if you'd like the special practice and performance tips that I only share with subscribers, then head on over to playinthezone.com and sign up for the emails. They're free.